YouTube's GeneralJSmith here, back with my first ever LEGO ideas set, and today we have the very cool LEGO Exosuit, designed by a LEGO fan on LEGO Kusu, which is now known as LEGO Ideas. Alright, set number 21109 for ages 12 plus, because it is pretty complicated, which is amazing considering its size. And it comes with 321 pieces, and it's currently retailing, assuming you can buy it, for £30 or $35. So, yeah. Now, I just want to start off by saying I do appreciate that I am definitely nowhere near the first person to do the set. However, saying that, it is not exactly the most common set in the world. Mainly because this is not really a sort of major set as it goes like by LEGO per se. As in, like, this wouldn't be like a Star Wars set where it's widely distributed and widely mass-produced and all this, and it's established theme. It's not really like that with the LEGO Ideas set. It happened the same with the Research Institute, the Back to the Future set, and the Ghostbusters set. They don't produce a lot of them, really. I believe 200,000 of these were made globally, which for LEGO is actually not a lot. Hence why this on eBay isn't going for a lot of money. I'm talking like £50, £60 new in the box. And it's really hard to find, especially in America. Not as much in Britain or some parts of Europe, but I know in America it's really hard to find. I personally was very lucky. The fact my LEGO store had like a dozen of them. So yeah, but I'm not going to go on that right now. This is, despite its size, a very detailed set. However, this does come with a few problems, mainly because it is kind of delicate. So yeah. But I'll probably point out right now, this is not my first exosuit, it's actually my second exosuit, and I'll be showing you what two exosuits look like in a minute. But anyway, so this is going to be my build and review of this set. I cannot wait to open this one as well, even though I do have one already made. Yeah, I think we should actually get into this thing. Go! Alright, so I'm back, and can I just say that was an incredibly long build. I mean, I've already built it once, as I said, but even so, that build took me an hour, an actual full hour to build, for just for 321 pieces, and something of this size. That was unbelievable. The main reason for this has to be the detail and just the little pieces, because I think you probably saw there are moments where I just literally could not find pieces, and because so many pieces are really rare and, well, unique, you know, that like you only have a few of them in this set, they were really hard to find because they're so small and just, oh my gosh, it was a nightmare trying to build this thing, can I just tell you. But it was definitely worth it. This is definitely a very nice set. Now, I'm going to say there isn't really much to do with this set per se, other than just looking at just the details. So actually, this is kind of funny. For a set this size, this small, and really I'd say the only real thing you're going to want to do with a set is display it, which is strange, because generally obviously you display the larger sets and then the smaller sets you tend to play with. But no, in actual fact, I'm going to say this is definitely an extremely cool display item, and if you are an investor, I'd highly recommend it. This is going for a lot of money on eBay, because, you know, in places such as America, this is sold out very quickly. I mean, in Britain and certain parts of Europe, you know, it's not selling out quite as fast. I don't really know why that is, but at least in my LEGO store, there was like a dozen there. So, you know, if I had more money, I would definitely have bought more, because it's such a really cool set. I'm not joking. This is going for like £50, £60 on eBay, you know, as opposed to 30 retail. It's unbelievable. But anyway, and it's clear why, don't get me wrong, because, I mean, this set, it's so cool. Just look at this. The detail is amazing. But anyway, I think we should just get into the set. Okay, so you do get a ton of spare pieces, I'm going to say. Look at all that. You get a bunch of spare pieces. You know, you can get a spare jetpack. Sorry, not jetpack, oxygen tank. So yeah, you get a ton of these, as well as a brick separator, which is actually kind of strange. You don't really get brick separators on sets this small. They really started off in the larger sets and then sort of gone down. But nonetheless, it's still cool because brick separators are actually pretty useful. I've got to be, especially when I was taking part my mock, which I recently did. That was very useful. But anyway, so I'm just going to go through this right now, and I think let's just get started on this incredible set, which I'm going to say I really, really love. Alright, so first we're going to start off with, I believe his name is Ian, or something along those lines. That's probably wrong. But this is a genuine person. It's not just a plastic person, like, you know, Lego decided to make a generic guy for the set. No, this is a real life person who has created this set, and I've got to say, you know, that's kind of cool, actually, the fact he got his own minifigure. I mean, again, it's really, really basic, just like some 80s space astronaut, but nonetheless, he got his own minifigure. Don't know why he chose to have, like, a kind of grumpy face, but, who knows, maybe he's a grumpy guy. But even so, you know, he actually, because this is, by the way, not a Lego brand, if you do not know, this is from Lego Ideas, previously known as Lego Kuso, you can actually see Lego Ideas in the corner there. There's this site called Lego Ideas, or it might still be called Lego Kuso, where you can literally post ideas. You don't really have to make the set, but you just have a sort of general render of it, where you put it up there and people can vote. If it gets more than 10,000 votes, Lego will consider it to make it to a real set. And this guy, obviously it worked. The actual set he made was slightly different. It was slightly sort of bulkier, but yet shorter. But even so, it's still very, very cool. So this is a real guy. So that's pretty cool, actually. I've got to say, Lego's been, is it just me? Lego's been making a lot of these 80s space people recently. Like, we had, obviously, this is the green guy. We had this white guy who came like this, not sponsored, like the exclusive set, which was really cool. We had Benny, of course, you know. We've had, you know, a number, actually. We've had quite a few of these 80s space guys. I don't know why they're specifically doing this, like an anniversary of some kind? I don't know. Maybe it's because of Benny, who knows. But, yeah, so that's really cool. The printing, of course, is extremely basic. There's really nothing to this. It's all green. The helmet is all green. There's no double-sided face printing. Just want to show you the oxygen tank here, because it's slightly different to other like backpacks and jetpacks we've seen, where it's the hole for this is a lot more tight, and it doesn't really wobble about as much. I mean, I don't really mind that much at all. I like to have new designs and things, but I'm just saying that, you know, this kind of wobbles about a little more, which is probably more you know, to the 80s ones, so that's really cool. But yeah, really, that's Ian, is his name? I'm afraid I do not know, but he's a genuine person, and he got his name in the set, which is really cool. There's one other minifigure who I'll talk to you right now. The other minifigure here is Eva, who is actually Ian's, or whatever the other guy's name is. That's actually his girlfriend, or wife, I'm not 100% sure on that. But, so yeah, so I mean, you know, it's a pretty basic thing, really. If you're going to make a set, what minifigures you're going to have in it? Well, you might as well have yourself and your girlfriend, really. You know, who else are you going to have? So anyway, so she's exactly the same. The printing is exactly the same, apart from the actual face, which is obviously feminine. She seems a lot more happy. So there you go. But the printing and everything about it is exactly the same. If you swap the heads, it would just, you know, you would not notice anything. She does come with a walkie-talkie, though. Or, you know, radio. It's very cool. And if you have two of these sets, you can put them in each and, like, you know, have like a little fight if you want, or whatever. But there you go. But really, that's it to the figures. They are very, very basic. You know, I'd hardly say worth the set. However, they are exclusive, so these actually might go for a little bit of money. I mean, I've got two of these sets, as I've said before, so I might sell the other two, depending how much they go for. But because they're exclusive, they might go for a little bit. So who knows? But, yeah, so that's basically your minifigures. I'm just going to do a very quick comparison to the white one we got on one of the exclusive set. Funny enough, the printing on the face is even more basic, which is kind of surprising, because this printing is pretty basic on the face. But it's even more basic. It's literally as basic as it goes. But they're exactly the same printing-wise, except for the fact that this one's green and this one's white. Other than that, though, they're exactly the same. Nonetheless, though, still very cool. I personally still really like them. Yeah, and I, even though they are very basic, I'm really glad they brought them into this set, because I still want to get your own little collection. Like, you've got Benny, the blue one, you've got green ones, you got the white one, there's also a black one, red one, there's so many, it's ridiculous, you know, so, yeah. But anyway, I think it's actually time we now got on to the main parts of the set, or rather, this turtle and the landing pad, and then finally the exosuit itself. So here we have, well, I don't really know the name of this, but it's, I guess, a turtle of some kind. Now, I just want to give a little reference. There's this YouTuber, a very large YouTuber, he's called Tomska. He's got like 3 million subscribers. You may have heard of him. He's a British YouTuber. He makes like sketch comedy. And one of my famous videos is ASDF movie, or ASDF movie. And one of the characters he has in it is a mine turtle, where if you step on it, it explodes. Yeah, he makes very random stuff. It's kind of funny. Anyway, hopefully you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this reminds me so much of it. Because it's like a turtle, but like, you know, a militarized robotic turtle. And it's, even though it's militarized, and it's even sort of like, it looks like it's meant for war, it still looks kind of funny. So, I mean, obviously, there's no relevance to the set. I don't think the guy who made this included this in his set, but Lego obviously did, and I'm glad they did, even though it has no relevance, and you can't really use it, because it's still really cool. This piece, however, is chrome. That's really cool, actually. Chrome piece, that's cool. I've got to be honest. That's also going to drive the price up of this set. I've got to be honest, I don't know why this set is so cheap. £30 for 321 pieces is a really good price, which is really unexpected, considering this set goes for a lot of money. They haven't made a lot of them. A lot of the things are exclusive. The pieces are exclusive. This set should go for a lot more money. But anyway, so yeah. It's very basic though. Nothing really happens. You got the little tail piece here, which moves. You got also the legs. That's the range of movement they can do. Very basic. You got the head. That's its range of movement. The gun, whatever, can move around. These are actually the exact same guns used in the Imperial Star Destroyer from 2014. And they can go up. If you want to, you know, it's pretty basic, but even so, I'm still really glad they included this, even though they really did not have to, because it's just kind of funny and a little extra thing, and I guess something you could give to kids, because this is really not that much of a kid's set, just because of how delicate it is, and how long and, you know, intricate it takes to build, but even so, it's a little thing for the kids, and I'm kind of glad we got this. Okay, so on to the last thing, other than the exosuit itself, we have this, not really landing pad, but just a pad, really, because, as you can see, the exosuit is sort of like a mining sort of droid, where it's probably just meant for like heavy lifting and stuff like that, your mining raw materials. And this looks like a couple of those containers where they'll put their raw materials, like rocks and whatever. So that's really cool. This is extremely basic. There's really nothing to this. You can probably just see how to make it just from looking at this, although we don't get that many of these yellow pieces. You know, especially for me at least, because I'm a Star Wars fan, and not many Star Wars sets are made from yellow pieces, but even so. Yeah, but it's extremely basic. I'm still really glad to add this as well, even though they didn't have to, because it's just a little extra thing, you know, just a little thing to play with. Perhaps kids, you know, could have fun playing with this as well. So even though they didn't have to add this, even though the exosuit is the main thing we're going to get this for, I'm still glad they added it, and it's still pretty cool. Okay, so now on to the exosuit itself. This thing, I've got to say, is packed with the detail. However, even though everyone says this is so really cool, and it is, don't get me wrong, you've got to be honest, there isn't really much to this. I mean, obviously, yeah, the legs and the arms move, and you can open the cockpit for the guy to get in, but that's really the basic stuff. That's the little stuff you expect with a set like this. You expect to be able to fit a guy in, you expect the arms and legs to move. Other than that, though, it doesn't do anything. There's not even any flip-fire missiles, which is pretty amazing. At the end of the day, of course, it's not really meant to do anything, and it does its job perfectly anyway. Really, and that's another reason why I say this is much more meant for a display piece, which is amazing considering how small it is. This must be like the smallest set ever that's meant for display. Generally you get like the UCS sets meant for display. But no, because really there isn't much you can do with this. I did very much contemplate making a stop motion with a couple of these versus like some Exo Force suits. By the way, Exo Force was a thing similar to this that was like around Trans 6. Didn't do too well, like Lego, like financially wise. But nonetheless, but then I got these, then I got hold of them, and I realised, damn, this is delicate. It's going to be really hard to make a stop motion out of these. So that's been put on hold for right now. But anyway, so really, the only thing you're going to really want to see about this is the detail. We'll start from the bottom, go all the way up. So the feet rotate, but that's just sort of a side effect, I guess. They're not really meant to rotate as such; they just sort of do. These joints are exactly the same ones you get in like Hero Factory Barnacle. Barnacle, by the way, is coming back. In fact, by the time you're watching this, it's probably already out. So, so yeah. So they are pretty sturdy. They work. Nothing really to say there. These obviously move, as you can say. I don't want to do this too much because it is pretty delicate. A lot of parts of this are pretty delicate. You got this bit up here. Oops. Yeah, very cool. By the way, the legs and the arms obviously exactly identical. Upper leg. You see the legs are bent. You may not have noticed. I didn't notice at first, but in actual fact, yeah, the legs are meant to be bent. If you want to straighten them out, you can, but it looks really weird and it doesn't really stand up properly. It's really, you know, it's prone to falling over if you put the legs up completely straight, so it's more advisable you have them bent. It just looks better. Looks stronger, you know. You have this tube, which is pretty cool. Doesn't do anything, but it's just, you know, it goes from, you know, through this hole here, from leg to leg. You got this thing on the back. I don't know what they are really, because they're not really exhaust, but they're sort of, I don't know, they're pretty cool. You got this thing in here, which I believe is also exhaust. I did contemplate for a while, are these like jet boosters or whatever, but that kind of seems like an odd place to put them. You sort of end up burning your own legs, you know, trying to fly away. Also, it doesn't really look like you can fly. So these are probably just exhaust vents, although of course you can say they're jet boosters and make it fly if you really want to. That is the only printed piece, by the way. And no other pieces of print or anything. There are in fact no other stickers or anything in the set, which is really cool. Although not really that surprising for a set this small. I mean, I doubt LEGO was going to make a whole nother sticker sheet just for this one thing. However, LEGO had done stranger things. So, yeah. Moving on. Got the cockpit here. Very, very basic. I'll lift this arm up so you can see that. Very nice. You can see where the minifigure goes. Sits on those two studs. The amount of details here is amazing. It's just crazy. The cockpit very simply opens with this joint here. Extremely easily. Just lift that up, stick them in. You can, if you really want to, move this joint down here and do that to try and make it more snug, but that just, yeah. I mean, it doesn't look bad or anything, you know, it does look acceptable, but I think generally it's just a lot easier in a lot of ways just to move this one. Just have this fully forward and then move this one and that'd be done with it. So yeah, I'm actually going to put someone in here. We're actually going to put, let's put Eva in here. Okay. We simply, oops, place her down like so. Okay. Yeah. See? And you can also see here, she's wearing a jetpack. Well, you can't see, it's too dark, but she's wearing a jetpack. There is a space for it, so if you're worried, oh, can I put this guy in with their jetpack or their oxygen tanks or whatever, you know, yes you can. It does fit, so that's cool. There is a fair amount of space in there because the space is open. See it? Yeah, I think it's basic to cockpit. Up here, you've got some more exhaust. Although they look like guns, so you could, I guess, could use them for guns. On the back, it's pretty plain actually, funny enough. But there's some more exhaust, very good detail here, very much like it. And of course you've got the antenna. And as we all know, these antennas are extremely easy to knock off. You basically knock past them and they go springing, which is kind of annoying, but there's nothing you can do about it, because it's just attached by one stud. Yeah, I believe that's just the torso. Let's go on to the arms. The arms are very cool. They just have one point of movement. By the way, these, oh, not ankles, don't know what they're called, wrists. Yeah, the wrists do not actually move. I mean, they swivel, but that's more a side effect. They don't actually, like, you can't move the hand independently of the arm. So I was kind of surprised at that. I thought, oh, I thought you could move the hand independently, but no, you can't. It's not that much of a big deal, I guess, but yeah, even so. But they do completely spin around if you want to. These are just very simple claws. You can see you can probably guess how they work. Very simple claws. They kind of look menacing, actually. I've got to say, these shoulder pieces are some of the most delicate on this entire set. I've had so many problems when I literally just try to pick it up. I accidentally pick it up, like holding the arm, and like press that, and it just, ugh, it's just unbelievable. They don't go flying. They're so delicate. It's so easy to fall off. It's amazing. So yeah, but it's still pretty nice detail. Very nice. This, of course, is the same joint as the legs, where it's just like one of those barnacle Hero Factory joints. And this, that's the range of movement for the arm, by the way. For some reason, they put this piece here, so that that's as far down as it can go. It can't go fully down. Not 100% why they did that, but they did. I guess to kind of stop it from going all the way around, but I don't know. There's probably some reason. But anyway, so yeah, I think that's basically it though to the exosuit. As I said before, there is really nothing made special. Just think of like, oh, a suit. Obviously, you move the arms, you can open the cockpit. That's pretty obvious. But other than that, there's really nothing to it except for the detail. The detail is what makes this set amazing and incredible, and it's just, it really is. You know, I'm going to be honest, it is truly a great set, and a great set to get for Christmas. By the way, you may notice my set is kind of Christmatized. But anyway, is that a word? Whatever. Okay, that's basically it. I'm going to try and go into the instructions, the box, and I'll give my general conclusions at the end. Bye. Alright, so here we have the instruction manual. Unlike the conventional instruction manual, this one is tough. Sort of like the UCS instruction manual. It very much reminds me of a UCS set in miniature. You may think that's just a normal set, but no. Because the instruction manual is pretty tough. Like, you've got a hard sort of corner here. Not like proper cardboard hardback, but like, you know, proper stuff, heavy duty. And that is the guy. That is him. The guy in the red t-shirt. That's the guy who made it. That's some spaceship, I guess, he invented. I don't know that. I think that's also the like guy who works for Lego who invented it. So, yeah. Got some stuff down there. You've got a ton of information. I'm going to read all through this, obviously. You know, in space since 1978. Blimey. I'm sure a lot of you weren't even born then. You got all the stuff like Exosuit Adventures, all that. There's so much here. You got this amazing image. Doesn't that just look incredible? I'm sorry, it just does. That is so cool. I love to see that. Like, actually get 3 of those and build them and make that entire scene. That would just look amazing. So, yeah, that looks great. And funny enough, I don't know if it's just mine, but it repeats itself. The entire thing repeats itself again. And then it repeats itself again. Oops, sorry, the box falls over. This is unbelievable. Okay. It repeats itself 3 times for some reason. Then it just goes into, oh, don't do that, you know, do this, do that. Brick separator, etc. And then it goes into building. And in fact, in the corners, you've got these little things, which are really cool. Just these little things that say, oh, that's the protective cage. You know, say, flick to a random page on the building thing. Okay, here. On the top, you have, oh, you know, that's what it does. And it's just, I think it's really cool, actually. I was going to read through it, so to help with this review, but I couldn't bother. On the back is just the usual win if you wanted. You got this. Pretty cool, like the exact same art you get on the box. You got other Kuso sets. You got the Minecraft. The Minecraft's become like a proper theme now. It's become so popular. It's actually its own theme now. That's incredible. You got the Back to the Future set. I so want to get that Back to the Future set. It's just it's not available in Lego stores. The Ghostbusters one is though. And you got this Curiosity Rover. I haven't seen it anywhere, funny enough. I've seen all the other Kuso sets. I have not seen that one anywhere. Damn. And that's repeated. Same thing in different languages. Oh, maybe that's the reason it was repeated. So at the beginning, when it was repeated 3 times, but it was in different languages, so I didn't notice. There's the piece count. See that? And yada yada. Very cool. Very hardback. I'm loving this instruction manual. If they made all instruction manuals like this, I'd pay a lot more for my sets. If they made all sets the same sort of quality as they made this type of set, I would willingly pay overcharged for the sets. You know, the same sort of price Toys R Us, you know, charges. I'd pay that if we had the same sort of quality, because this is cool. But now let's go into the box. Alright, so the box is pretty basic. It's the same as all other Lego Kuso, or so I say Lego Idea sets. Although I've never had one before. I really want to get them, I really love them, but I'm more into Star Wars right now, so obviously that takes up more of my money. But if I did, I want to get all those Lego Kuso sets. It's the same sort of box where, unlike the normal one where you sort of try to rip it apart, or near that, you know, like for example, if I've actually got the Sheik Troop battle pack here. You see here, you're meant to push that down and do all this, and it's pretty tatty. This one, it's all neat. Simply cut the sellotape at the bottom, lift it up, and you see in here, I mean, it's normal cardboard. It's not like, you know, lined with, I don't know, velvet or whatever, but even so, it still looks pretty nice, I've got to say. And you simply fold it down. This is one of the boxes, you know, if you're into keeping boxes, this is definitely going to be there. You're not going to get one of this one. As you can see, it was £30 in the Lego store. Go into the back. So you just hold a canister, etc. Oh, sorry, Pete. I'm sorry, Pete and Eva, or Eve. Don't know where I got Ian from, but even so. You just got some stuff here. Yeah. You can share your idea on that site, Lego Ideas. And there you go, really nothing more to say. Very nice, and as I said before, you know, this is like a base, they're like on a mining world. I can actually make a mock out of that, because it looks pretty simple, and, you know, I think that'd be kind of cool. See some of these in like a mock. But, yeah, I think it's pretty just it. As you can see, 12 plus. This is actually one of the few sets that comes with a piece count in Europe. Boxes in Europe don't come with a piece count for some unknown reason. It seems just so weird why it doesn't come with a piece count. It's like, is that big of an issue? Does it take so much money to print the piece count that you can't do in all countries? It's like, oh, fine then. But anyway, so 12 plus, not because it's particularly big, not because, I don't know, kids won't be able to play with it, but I just think because it takes so long to build, kids may not have the patience, because some of the pieces are pretty rare and pretty small, they're extremely easy to lose, and that may become a problem, and just, yeah. But anyway, that's basically it then to the box and everything. We are just now going to go back into the set. I'm going to show you like what it looks like with 2 exosuits, because I do have 2, I'm very lucky. And we can conclude this review. Alright, so here we are. This is it, the conclusion to my LEGO Exosuit review. One of the best sets I reviewed this entire year. Yeah, I like it that much. Now, I do highly recommend it. For the first time ever, I'm going to give this a solid 10 out of 10 set. As you can see, by the way, this is my other exosuit with GeneralJSmith right there. With his custom weapons, by the way, I bought off eBay. They cost like £9 each, so not cheap. But even so, this was an amazing set. I'm not joking. I'm glad I got 2 of them. If I had a ton more money, I'd buy a ton more of these things. I highly recommend them to older LEGO people, like teenagers and above. It does say 12 and up, because really, the reason I wouldn't recommend them to young people is because obviously they're going to want to play with it, which isn't bad, but like, I get a feeling they'll get annoyed when they start losing pieces and stuff start falling off, and it's really not like Barnacle or Hero Factory where you can really mess them about and like move them as well, you know, and all that, and they're going to stay together. These are very much more collectible. Like, perhaps you could use them in stop motion if you were careful. I would definitely love to see a stop motion of these things. I definitely think that'd be extremely cool, but even so. But anyway, so yeah, I gave it a 10 out of 10. Personally, one of my favourite sets of the entire year. And for its size, I'm going to say one of my favourite sets of all time. You know, I mean, perhaps I do like some sets that are larger than this, but considering its size, considering everything about it, it's definitely well worth getting if you can pick it up. And obviously that's the reason why it's selling so well, and it's very hard to pick them up. I feel very lucky if I did get to pick them up. But yeah, really, overall, just an amazing set, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I love this set so much, and if you can, beg Santa for Christmas to get this set. Even, you know, if they can't find it, then I wouldn't be surprised. But even so, it's something. But that is it then. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'm not sure if you're seeing this before or after Christmas. I mean, it is getting pretty close to Christmas for me, so I'm not sure I'll upload this in time before Christmas, especially considering my Christmas video, which will be coming out on the 25th, of course. But I will see you in my next video, whenever that be. Hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please click that like button, because it really does help me. I know a lot of YouTubers say it, well, basically all of them, but it really genuinely does, you know, not make me feel good, but like, it encourages me, and it shows me which videos you like, which videos you don't like, and all that. Please leave a comment down below. I do answer any and all questions, assuming, you know, I can. And of course, please subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. I do have like a mini goal before the end of this year to reach 900 subscribers. It's going... Ooh, it's getting close. It's getting close. I think it's definitely possible. Will I do it? Who knows? But we'll see. Thank you guys for watching, as I said before, and I hope this wasn't too long, but it was genuinely a really cool set. Thank you guys. I've said that 5 times now, but I will see you in another video. Don't know what that'll be. I hope you enjoyed 2015, and I'll see you then. Bye, troops.